Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm proud to present to you PELTP Session 44. Forward march!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests. I'm Keith Hicks, Director of the Southern Maryland Criminal Justice Academy. On behalf of the Board of Directors and Academy staff, we'd like to welcome you to the graduation ceremony for Police Entrance Level Training Program, Session 44. At this time, I'd like to call Reverend Gwen Bankins, Chaplain for St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office, for invocation.
Good evening, honored guests, family, friends, law enforcement community. Welcome to the final inspection and graduation of Police Entrance Level Training Program Session 44. Lord, we thank you for granting them focus, direction, strength, and endurance for their 6-month journey of intense academic studies, intense physical and technical training. As I'm sure the community and the graduates want to thank the friends, family, and law enforcement community that have played a vital role in supporting Session 44 to complete their journey. This evening we are here to celebrate the men and women who have made a choice to accept the mission and the calling as a law enforcement professional as guardians of public safety. You are now entrusted to respond to the crisis that encompass the very worst moments in the lives of our community. Many times on any given day, you will be called upon to accomplish the things that will exceed the boundaries of what any human being should be a witness to. In those times, my prayer is that the Lord cover and protect you and give you the wisdom, strength, and courage needed to respond as a law enforcement professional and to guard your eyes, ears, and heart and return you safely to your friends and family. We all pray collectively that you have more positive moments where you will touch the lives of the citizens of the community and that they see the heart behind the badge and embrace you for the choice you make to leave your families and work to keep our community safe. Lord, you taught man to pursue peace, righteousness, and justice to make the world a better place. The men and women of Session 44 are now joining those who already wear a badge of honor, service, integrity, courage, accountability, and professionalism. Lord, we come to you on their behalf and ask that you give them the strength, fortitude, determination, stamina, and the compassion to do their job. Please continue to watch over them and their families. We pray for tomorrow and every day thereafter. This graduation opens another door. We ask that you continue to give the men and women of Session 44 focus, clarity, and a calling from you to understand their purpose and the courage to respond and step toward that purpose. We pray in the words of the scripture. Bless them indeed, expand their territory. Let your hand be with them from evil, that they not cause or experience pain. In Jesus' name, we bless our graduates of Session 44. Amen.
At this time, can everyone please stand and remain standing for the presentation of colors by the St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office color guard and the playing of our national anthem by DFC Andre Mitchell and his wife, Toy Mitchell.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave, the brave.
You may be seated. It's my distinct honor and privilege to introduce our distinguished guests on the stage here this evening. First of all, in his backyard, Sheriff of St. Mary's County, the President of the Academy's Board of Directors, Sheriff. Next, the Sheriff of Charles County, and member of the Academy's Board of Directors, Sheriff Troy Berry. From the Calvert County Sheriff's Office, a member of the Academy's Board of Directors, Sheriff Mike Evans. From the Maryland Police Corrections and Training and Standards Commission, Acting Executive Director, Mr. Al Lino. And from the College of Southern Maryland, Associate Professor, Mr. Ed Maroney. And Chief of Cheverly Police Department, Chief Buddy Robshaw. And Chaplain of the St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office, Reverend Gwendolyn Bankins. Command staff from the various agencies, can you please stand? Let's give a round of applause. Without further ado, we're going to call up Mr. Al Lino for his words from the Training and Standards Commission.
Thank you. Good evening. On behalf of Ms. Karen Kruger, the Executive Director of the Maryland Police and Correctional Training Commission, I want to congratulate the graduates for the job well done and a special day. Now, I know you did a little bit of training, right? Just a little bit of training. And I'll get to the family here in a minute, because I think you've been given a wrong scoop here. But anyhow, your training, it's as intensive as it was, is just beginning. Because now, you know what the job is about. You really don't know how to do it yet. Seriously. The next stage of your training, field training, is where you're going to be able to get to apply all that knowledge. Yeah, I know you went through a ton of exercises and practical exercises, right? And you thought these people were going to kill you? Yeah. You may think that, but there's not one over here that would. Okay? And the reason I know that is because I was in their position for 18 years before I retired as an active police officer. But again, congratulations on a job well done. It is a long haul to get here, no two ways about it. But keep on going. Take every opportunity you can to get training. The next thing I want to talk about is integrity, and I know the three sheriffs are going to talk about this, so I'm not going to talk about a whole bunch of it. But in my profession, where I'm at now with the Training Commission, as the deputy director, I oversee the certification unit. So that card that you got from us, I'm the one that actually oversees that being given out. And unfortunately, there are many days when I get paperwork on my desk to take that card away. And that's a sad day, it really is. So don't get yourself in a situation where integrity-wise, that you get yourself in trouble. You're going to have a lot of opportunities. You're going to be faced with that. It's going to be a tough thing. But hang in there. Okay, remember the old adage, it's not what you do when I'm watching you, your supervisor's watching you, what you do when that supervisor's not there that makes you a good police officer. Okay? Professionalism, this is a profession, no two ways about it. And I'll admit, the profession today is a little bit different than what it was 43 years ago when I started in the profession. Okay? But it is a great profession. I will do it all over again. I'm still doing it. I enjoy every day I come to work. Okay? But it takes work, it takes pride. Okay? Pride in the uniform that you have. Pride in what you've done. Pride in how you're going to be dealing with the calls for service that you get. Okay? Because you're not only impacting yourself, you're impacting everyone that wears that uniform and everyone that wears their uniform in here. Okay? So keep that in mind. And then the last thing I want to mention is support. You supported yourselves through what, 6 months, 6.5 months of training? Okay? I don't know exactly how long it was because they vary, but around 6, 7 months long. You support yourself, right? Don't stop doing it now. Keep doing it. Now, folks, here's where I'm going to talk to you. You supported them for 6 months, 7 months, however long their academy was. They're going to continue to need you to do that throughout their career. There are going to be days when they're going to come home and they're going to talk about what happened today. And there's going to be days that the last thing you want to do is talk anymore about it. They've had enough. Okay? Be there to support them. Because you're part of this family now too. Whether you like it or not, want it or not, we're all part of the same family. They're going to be coming home with some issues or some concerns. They're going to be coming home with the effects of the job that they do. So again, congratulations on what you've done so far. I wish you the best of luck throughout your career, and God bless you and keep you safe.
Next from the Southern Maryland, from the College of Southern Maryland, Associate Professor Ed Maroney is going to talk about the articulation agreement.
Hey, good evening, everybody. As a retired Marine, I don't need that microphone. I'm certain you can all hear me. In my position as an associate professor at the College of Southern Maryland, I had the responsibility for coordinating the criminal justice program. And tonight, when each one of you graduate, you will be the recipient of 15 college credits, about $1,900 worth of college credits, and you will be 1/4 of the way towards an associate degree and an accumulation of 60 credits if you have not already started your college career at some point or another. So, real simple. Good luck to you. God bless you. Use your common sense. Stay safe, and you'll be fine. Take care.
At this time, I'm going to introduce the Board of Directors. First will be the St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office, again, and President of the Academy's Board of Directors. He's actually wearing 2 hats tonight, because he has a son that attends school here also. Sheriff Tim Cameron.
Thank you,
My son's next door in the gymnasium in a one-act play, so if you see a vacant chair, I haven't succumbed to illness. Good evening again. Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, graduates, it's a real pleasure to be here. This evening I spent time with our new officers from St. Mary's today and their families, more important, their families. And I told our new officers one of the greatest tests that you're going to undertake will come tonight at graduation, where you try to sit in a chair with arms and don't have enough room for a gun belt. So we all witnessed that. If you saw me, I was smiling, not laughing at you. I recently read an editorial in a police magazine that asked the question, does your uniform represent your life calling, or are you simply wearing a costume? I have a childhood photo of me wearing a cowboy costume, I'm proud of that still, complete with hat, gun, belt, vest, and badge. So it's some predetermined image of what I may do with my life. And of course, as a child, I admired all the television shows immortalized by TV magazines and movies. I watched Adam 12, Dragnet, Barney Miller, Chips, SWAT, and John Wayne in any role as a peace officer. But of course, you can't relate to any of what I just said, other than maybe Law and Order, right? I was always in awe whenever I saw a police officer or a police car in my community. And I wondered truly what it would be like to be a police officer. Your exemplary training staff has prepared you well, and they've warned you of many challenges to come. I'd like to warn you of and emphasize a challenge ahead, and that's mediocrity. This poses a significant danger to you, not just physically, but it can adversely affect your career. Be passionate about all aspects of your profession. Continue to learn, practice, and improve. As leaders, your sheriffs and chiefs are adamant about hiring only the best qualified applicants, providing only the finest instruction, and expecting excellence, demanding excellence from you every day. We, your sheriffs, your chief, we wear our passion every day. That's this uniform. It reflects our commitment to our community and our profession and to all of you. I've learned over the years that not everyone in our profession shares our passion or our commitment. To some, this is a job. Standing up to those people and holding ourselves to a higher standard takes courage. And I suspect if you did not have courage, you would not be here tonight. I'd love to ask all those retirees from the law enforcement community, please stand. I know you're people that don't like to be singled out, but you need to be. Please stand. If you're retired law enforcement, please stand. If you're active duty law enforcement, please stand. It's absolutely fitting that we acknowledge the icons of policing that are with us here tonight. And we thank you for your service. Class, I remind you, you stand on the shoulders of these giants. You stand on those shoulders of those who came before. So do nothing to embarrass or sully the memory or what they've worked so hard to establish. Don't ever allow your uniform to be a costume. It is a privilege to serve. As I said to you earlier today, your uniform on the outside should reflect the desire, the integrity, and the commitment that burns on the inside. Our badge should never be a barrier. Instead, it should be a beacon of trust that represents the confidence our community has in us to carry out our mission as their guardians with equity, with respect, with openness, and a reverence for all lives. I wish you all long, happy, and satisfying careers. God bless.
Next, from the Charles County Sheriff's Office, a member of the Academy's Board of Directors. Also, I don't see your picture up anymore on 301.
It's coming back.
All right, Sheriff Troy.
I want to take this opportunity to the graduating class on behalf of myself, Sheriff Cameron, Sheriff Evans, to thank you guys for your hard work and your dedication. And I want to welcome you to the law enforcement profession. During your training, you have demonstrated 4 characteristics that I would like to highlight this evening, which is leadership, integrity, teamwork, and excellence. Leadership, the citizens are looking at you to set a positive example and not be a negative example. You have demonstrated integrity to get this far in your career. We, the law enforcement, are the gatekeepers of fostering trust and goodwill and respect in our community. As we all know that regardless of what uniform you wear, in law enforcement it requires us to be strong team builders, working as a team. We must develop partnerships and address the changing and growing needs in our law enforcement profession. You heard it from Sheriff Cameron. We also must have a spirit of excellence. You every day should focus and direct and make sure that you can do everything that you can do to be the best law enforcement professional you can be each and every day. And you need to just continue to develop those skills, leaning on the things that you have learned in your training, leaning on the things you will be learning in your field training exercises, and also heed the advice that you're getting from your peers and also from senior law enforcement officials. In conclusion, always be a good ambassador for a law enforcement profession. Always seek to do justice and love mercy, and being that beacon of light in the midst of darkness. I want to say congratulations thus far in your career, and I wish that God will continue to keep you, and guide you, and protect you as you go along the way. Thank you very much.
And from the County Sheriff's Office, a member of the Academy's Board of Directors, Sheriff Mike Evans.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, fellow officers. I'm honored to be here tonight to congratulate each member of the graduating class and welcome to the law enforcement community. A special thank you should go out to the members of your family for supporting you, helping you train, handcuffing, and choke holds, training holds, etc. So I've been giving your family a round of applause. We congratulate retired First Sergeant Keith Hicks, the Director of Southern Maryland Academy, and the staff for preparing you guys, and ladies, for what lies ahead. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Session 44, congratulations. Your road has not been easy. First, you were selected above hundreds of other applicants to attend this academy. As you can tell, when you started with quite a few more, this isn't for everybody. You completed a grueling 6+ months, and you have at least 2 more months of field training with an experienced deputy police officer before you on your own. You each took the oath of office at your respective agencies, but another oath I think fits well in law enforcement as a Boy Scout. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty for God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. You are probably in the best physical condition of your lives right now, but you can improve upon that. Take advantage of the training opportunities. Ethics, integrity are keys to a successful career. It has been quoted, and I actually heard this from Blue Bloods, you will make mistakes, but knowing that you're going in the right direction matters. Honesty is always the image you want to portray as an officer. And in closing, let me say, I was in the academy 40 years ago. Not quite as long as that. Same academy. But being a police officer is exciting, sometimes dangerous, extremely rewarding. And when you, and you will have that opportunity, I believe, to make a difference in your county, you'll make that difference. Again, congratulations, welcome aboard, I salute you all.
Each graduating class selects one of its members to represent them as class speaker. This evening's graduating class selected Officer Luke Smith from the Charles County Sheriff's Office.
Good evening, friends, family, and coworkers. On behalf of the Southern Maryland Criminal Justice Academy and the Police Entrance Level Training Program, Session 44, welcome. Wow. It has been a long and relentless 7 months from July 10th when we started up until now. We have each grown exponentially as individuals and as one cohesive unit. I feel great pride to be standing here graduating alongside my brothers and sisters from Charles, Calvert, St. Mary's, and Cheverly on this glorious and well-deserved occasion. Before I get started, I'd like to give special thanks to the Academy staff and instructors for the time they've sacrificed and their unwavering dedication to providing us a superior training experience. You've given us insight into the career, the lifestyle that we've chosen by sharing stories of your personal experience, countless courses of instruction, as well as scenarios that are as close to reality as it gets. For all these things, you have our undying gratitude. No one said that this would be easy. And if it was, there would be a whole lot more people doing it. Police work isn't black and white. It's a murky gray area that we have to use our best judgment in navigating. It is because of your guidance that we are ready to begin our lives as law enforcement officers. Sincerely, thank you. To those of you in the audience this evening who live with the graduates, you know all too well how much strain this training has put on each of us. You've seen us when we come home bruised, filthy, burning from OC spray, cut up, shot up, fed up, and just flat out angry at the world. Thank you for listening to us vent and rant while we muddled our way through the challenge that has been our lives for these past few months. Your thoughts, your prayers, and your support mean more to us than you could possibly imagine. Now for my fellow graduates. We've all been waiting to say this, so I'm going to say it for us all. We made it. After all those times we've shouted our motto, come unknown, leave unforgotten, if your chests aren't bursting with pride at this very moment, I don't know what's going to do it for you. I really don't. Through the summer days that cooked us and the winter wind chill that cut through us like knives, through the sleepless, caffeine-fueled nights that we spent writing reports, doing homework, and preparing for the next day's challenges, through all the stress and the bleeding and the screaming and the crying and the self-doubt, we have fought to make it to this moment right here, right now. Every morning at the crack of dawn, we would wake up, drag ourselves out of bed, gear up, and go at it all over again. Because we didn't know how not to. Because the word quit isn't part of our vocabulary, and it isn't who we are at our core. Each trial only strengthened our resolve. Nothing that we went through was without purpose, however. Our training is geared towards overcoming the worst possible conditions and the harsh realities that we face as law enforcement officers at this point in American history. This means that all the stress and physical activity that we were subjected to is meant to condition us to face and be able to handle and perform through the absolute worst possible situations that we may face in the line of duty. This academy has taught us something about ourselves that we may not have known, that we always have more to give, that we can push just a little farther, that we can fight through whatever is thrown at us and emerge victorious, because that is our job, that is our life. We have volunteered ourselves to a life of the unknown, to not knowing what our tour of duty is going to bring day in and day out, to not knowing if we will return when we leave home. We have volunteered to see humanity at its worst, but also at its best. We have volunteered to be a beacon of hope in someone's darkest hour when their entire life is crashing down around them. We have volunteered to be problem solvers, saviors, warriors, law enforcement officers. And we do all of these things willingly because that is who we are at our core. So here we are, unbroken, confident, and hungry. Hungry to start our careers in law enforcement that have been so rightfully earned. This is not the end. This is the beginning. We came unknown, and we are leaving unforgotten. Thank you.
I had the opportunity to review Officer Smith's speech for this evening, and what impressed me is I'm looking at the words of the speeches and stuff in our book and these guys' book, and I see this little writing, and I'm just as impressed with that instance because you can read it and I can't. All right, at this time I'm going to introduce the Academy staff. From St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Director, former Academy Director, Captain Richard Gray. From the Charles County Sheriff's Office, Class Coordinator, Sergeant Harry Iverson. From the Charles County Sheriff's Office, Staff Instructor, who was absent because he's sick, Master Corporal Joe Piazza. From the Calvert County Sheriff's Office, Staff Instructor Corporal Brianne Gray. From the St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office, Staff Instructor Corporal Michael Lacazzi. From the St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office, Staff Instructor Corporal Vin Luffy. From the Calvert County Sheriff's Office, Staff Instructor CFC Joe D'Agostino. From the St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office, Staff Instructor Mr. Mike Baumgartner. And from the Calvert County Sheriff's Office, Academy Administrative Assistant, Maureen Oddly. And last but not least, from the Calvert County Sheriff's Office, Academy Administrative Assistant, Linda Hatch. As the class mentioned, we have several instructors here this evening that are not full-time instructors, but certainly were instrumental in the success of this program. If you had an opportunity to teach with this class, can you please stand? At this time, we have the presentation of awards. The Scholastic Award presented by Captain Richard Gray.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, graduates of Session 44. Over the past 30 weeks, graduates of Session 44 received over 1,000 hours of classroom instruction, covering many law enforcement-related topics. These topics include criminal, constitutional, and traffic law, search and seizure, interview and interrogation, patrol procedures, and crisis intervention. They were tested on each block of instruction in the form of written quizzes, examinations, and/or practical exercises. Each officer was required to successfully complete and master a total of 284 Maryland Police Training Commission and Academy objectives. Police entrance level training program session 44 hard work and dedication to their studies was evident by their combined final grade point average of 95.1%. We can give them a round of applause. At this time, I would like to acknowledge several officers. The race for the Scholastic Achievement Award was very, very close. Only fractions of a percentage separated these officers. The following recruits were only 0.8% to 0.1% from the top scorer. Please join me in recognizing the following officers for their scholastic performance. Officer Ashton Brown, Officer Kevin Jenna, Deputy Warren Cornash, the graduate receiving tonight's award completed the program with a very impressive final grade point average of 97.95%. Please join me in congratulating Police Entrance Level Training Program Session 44's Scholastic Award recipient from the Calvert County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Brandon DeLeon.
Next, we have the Physical Training Award, to be presented by Corporal Brianne Gray.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and graduates of Session 44. During the past 30 weeks of police entrance level training, graduates of Session 44 participated in physical training on average 3 times per week. The physical training program is designed to build each officer's strength, stamina, endurance, pride, confidence, and most importantly, the ability to operate as a team under physical and mental stress. The program included a considerable amount of running, calisthenics, circuit weight training, CrossFit-based training, aerobics, and the obstacle course. This training is based on practical movements to build functional strength for the defensive tactics program and fundamentals necessary in law enforcement. There were also several unconventional items used during training to improve physical fitness, such as tractor tires, 50-pound chains, 5-gallon water jugs, 6-foot logs, and gas masks. Each officer's physical fitness level was measured 4 times during the academy. The first test was given during the first quarter, and the final test was conducted this past Monday. There were 2 additional tests administered periodically throughout the academy. The test consists of a 1.5-mile run, push-ups, pull-ups, and abdominal crunches. The maximum possible score for each event is 100 points, making each maximum test score 400 points. The maximum possible score for all 4 tests combined is 1,600 points. I would also like to mention that Session 44's average score increased over 12% from the first test to the final test. The Physical Fitness Award is given to the officer that accumulated the highest point total for the 4 tests combined. The recipient of this award accumulated a total of 1,587 points out of a total of 1,600. I'm proud to present the Physical Fitness Award to Deputy Andrew Crum.
Just to let you know, these three guys are quite competitive. You see them up here, like, Sheriff Evans might have had a little insight on this too, because I think he actually recruited him from GNCs. Next, we have the Emergency Vehicle Operations Award, Corporal Mike LaCouncil.
Glad you mentioned that, First Sergeant Sheriff Evans. I'm sorry for the first one right now. Not being clean sweep tonight. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, family, friends, and most importantly, our graduating class. Session 44 completed their driver training program at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center in Cheltenham, Maryland. This facility provides a safe environment for the recruits to learn vehicle dynamics on a highway course at interstate speeds. There is an urban grid to simulate city and subdivision driving, complete with one-way streets, intersections, blind corners, and working traffic lights. There are a variety of cone courses, some just wide enough for a vehicle to pass through with only inches to spare. And finally, there is a polished concrete skid pad complete with water sprinklers, which is used for skid recovery and various braking exercises. All of these courses are specifically designed to develop the skills needed for safe vehicle operations police officers must use each and every day. The training consisted of classroom lectures, vehicle inspections, non-emergency vehicle operations, which is always everyone's favorite, pursuit decision-making and tactics, skid recovery, accident avoidance, and various braking exercises. The recruits were evaluated on numerous practical exercises requiring precision, skill, good judgment, and decision-making under stressful driving conditions. Some of the point deductions the recruits could receive included code contact, failing to maintain lane integrity, improperly clearing intersections, and yes, even driving too fast. The Emergency Vehicle Operations Award is presented to the recruit with the best overall average and who consistently demonstrated good judgment and decision-making throughout the week. It is my privilege to present the Emergency Vehicle Operations Award for Police Entrance Level Training Program Session 44 to, from the St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Richard Forbes.
Next, we have the Firearms Award to be presented by Sergeant Harry Iverson.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and my fellow brothers and sisters now in law enforcement. Firearms training is one of the most enjoyable blocks of instruction at the Academy for both the recruits and the instructors. Just let me change that right now for next time. Just the recruits. It's one of the first times the recruits are away from the Academy campus for an extended period of time. Prior to actually going to the firing range, the class attended a total of 40 hours of classroom instruction, which included use of force, nomenclature, the duty pistol, police shotgun, and patrol rifle, fundamentals of marksmanship, and tactical shooting. Now, I took over this program from Mr. Joe Young, who developed it and did a great job, but I added something to it last time, so I'm going to go off script a little bit. I'd like to see First Sergeant squirm. So during last year's speech, I told the audience that I added my own twist to the firearms program. I told them that since the recruits get tased with tasers that they carry, and they get sprayed with OC spray that they carry, it would only be fitting to let us shoot them with their guns that they carry. So I had them line up with their vests on, because we're not animals. And we shot them in the torso area, and everybody laughed. We made sure that it wasn't a windy day, and there were minimal injuries, and they took a light chance. The audience thought it was funny, like you all. And so I just pushed on with the rest of the speech. After the graduation,
I found out that the Charles County Command Staff was going to dinner in Calvert County at a restaurant I like to go to, so I invited myself. Actually, I just showed up uninvited, and I sat at the bar, and I waited for one of them to get up and to go to the bathroom. When they did, I slid into their seat. The rest of the command staff was distracted by their appetizers, I think. And they barely noticed me until Major Dave Saunders looked up and said, "Hey, I liked your speech. I thought it was really funny." I thought, wow, I didn't put any jokes in that speech. He continued to tell me that I forgot to tell the audience that I was only kidding about shooting the recruits. At which time I thought, wow, I didn't put any jokes in the speech. So tonight, I'm not going to tell you that we shot the recruits, just in case someone thinks I'm joking. All right, moving on. While at the range, the recruits received a total of 48 hours of one-on-one live instruction. During this time, the class as a whole fired more than 36,000 rounds of ammunition with the duty pistol, more than 500 rounds with the police shotgun, and more than 1,200 rounds with the patrol rifle. The four main objectives of all of this training are safety in all phases of gun handling, proficiency in obtaining the highest level of marksmanship possible, building confidence in their skills and ability regarding firearms, and they have to fire 3 consecutive qualifying courses with the duty pistol, 2 qualifying scores in reduced light, all of which are very stressful, and they have to be familiar with the police shotgun and the patrol rifle. All of the recruits put forth a maximum effort during all of this training, displayed exceptional skills with the duty pistol, shotgun, and rifle, even though more than a third of them had never fired a handgun in their lives. Their effort is demonstrated by the overall class firearms average of a 93%, with a 4-way tie for first place with a 98%. So I broke out my abacus, or my smartphone, put it on the calculator, and added a few more qualification scores that they didn't know about because I had to, and added up some additional qualification scores just to make it fair. Had to break it down into decimals at that point. The top 4 shooters were separated by less than 1 percentage point, and I think a round of applause is in order at this point. All right, let me finish. I think a round of applause is in order for my patience, my bravery, and my thoughtful instruction. All right, this is about them, not me, for crying out loud. In all seriousness, this class did a remarkable job applying the lessons that they learned and that they were taught. At the end of the day, we can't grip the gun for them, we cannot line up their sights, and we cannot conduct a slow and smooth trigger pull for them. They have to do all that on their own. And they did it well, and they did all of those things well. The Top Gun Award for PELTP Session 44 with an overall average of 99% is presented to Charles County Sheriff's Officer Ashton Brown. He also made a shot at a torso target from 120 yards with a handgun.
I told you these guys are competitive. Just gonna let you know that Sheriff Barry threw a ringer in here also. He was a cadet for how many years? And he stayed at the range all the time. You guys give a round of applause. Next we have the Steve Allen Award being presented by Corporal Ben Luffy.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is truly an honor and privilege to stand here tonight and present Mr. Steve Allen Award on behalf of the Southern Maryland Criminal Justice Academy. Unfortunately, Mr. Allen lost his courageous battle with cancer shortly after this award was presented in July of 2012. His family extends their gratitude to the Board of Directors for this distinction and congratulates tonight's award recipient. Before I present this award, I wish to share with you some insight as to the man this award honors. Mr. Allen's career spanned many years, assignments, and roles. His full list of credentials can be found in your program this evening. But, as for now, please allow me to share a small piece of that. In 1961, Mr. Allen began his career with the Metropolitan Police Department in Washington, D.C. And unbeknownst to him at the time, became nothing short of a legend, and what he would be quick to tell you was his profession. Mr. Allen served with MPD for 25 years up until his retirement in many capacities that, for most, would have been impressive enough. But he, like those who selected to receive this award, which bears his name, was not yet satisfied and continued in his unrelenting pursuit of perfection. You see, once he retired from one career, he immediately began another, being hired as a training coordinator by the Charles County Sheriff's Office. He was able to continue his work in the field he loved and cared so deeply for that he chose to sacrifice his well-deserved rest and pursue training the future of this line of work. The new generation of officers serving our communities, the officers who will continue just as he did day in and day out to serve with distinction, respect, initiative, and absolute determination to make a difference for the better. Mr. Allen was not only a leader in the sense of a job title or an assignment, he wasn't just a name that was posted on a wall. He was the embodiment of all those traits that we see today in our officers. It was in no small part thanks to this leadership that the Southern Maryland Criminal Justice Academy was established, and why Mr. Allen was appointed to be the first ever director of this newly formed program. Facing many obstacles and uncertainties, Mr. Allen's vision and his ability to lead, coach, and inspire others is what's brought us here today. Tonight's award recipient was selected by the staff as having consistently demonstrated the attributes of leadership, initiative, motivation, and compassion throughout their attendance at the Academy, the very foundation for which this award was created. It gives me great pleasure in presenting the Mr. Steve Allen Award to Deputy Stephen Bolin of the Charles County.
I must admit, I actually threw this ringer in this one. I actually coached Stephen in football at Coward High School. Give him a round of applause once again. All right, here's the moment we've all been waiting for, the presentation of diplomas. Feel free to line up front to take pictures if you'd like to. First, we have from the Charles County Sheriff's Office, Officer Justin Wanacorsi. Next, from the Coward County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Stephen Bolin. Next, from the Charles County Sheriff's Office, Officer Ashton Brown. Next, from the St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Diane Carney. From the St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Robert Chase. Next, from the Calvert County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Andrew Crum. Next, from the Calvert County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Brendan DeLeon Suero. Next, from the Charles County Sheriff's Office, Officer Taylor Ashelman. Next, from the St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office, Deputy John Fenwick. From the Calvert County Sheriff's Office, Deputy James Flint. From the St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Richard Forbes. From the St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Warren Fornish. From the Calvert County Sheriff's Office, Deputy William Freeland. From the Cheverly Police Department, Officer Kevin Jenna. From the Calvert County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Michael Lewis, Jr. From the Calvert County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Michael Lorenzano. From the Charles County Sheriff's Office, Officer Hunter Moeller. From the Calvert County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Shane Nod. From the St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Benjamin Riley. From the Charles County Sheriff's Office, Officer Lucas Smith. From the St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Thomas Snyder. From the Charles County Sheriff's Office, Officer Richard Welch. From the St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Tyler Westfall. And from the Charles County Sheriff's Office, Officer Tyler Willis. Let's give one more big round of applause.